When I was 13, my parents finally started trusting me enough to stay home alone overnight. It felt like such a big deal back then, like crossing into some invisible threshold of independence. We lived in a quiet little cul-de-sac in the kind of town that still held block parties and borrowed sugar from neighbors. The sort of place where people didn't lock their doors during the day and kids played basketball in the street until the streetlights came on. It wasn't some rural farm town, but it had that same small-town comfort. Familiar. Safe. That's what made what happened all the more disturbing. It was early spring. I remember because the air still had that sharp chill to it, even though the days were getting longer. My parents were headed out of town for the weekend to celebrate my aunt and uncle's anniversary. It was just an overnight thing, but since my older brother was away at college and I had no siblings at home, I'd be alone. I wasn't scared. Actually, I was kind of excited. They left me with money for pizza, reminded me about locking the doors, and said to call them if I needed anything. My mom must have asked me if I was sure I'd be okay about 4 separate times before they finally pulled out of the driveway. I had the whole night mapped out. Junk food, video games, and a horror movie I wasn't technically supposed to watch. It was perfect. Around 6:30, I ordered a large pepperoni and sausage pizza from this local spot called Marcello's. They'd been around forever. Just this little family-owned place with amazing crust. It was less than 5 minutes away, so delivery was always fast. Sure enough, about 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. I grabbed the $20 bill my mom left me, along with a few singles for a tip, and headed downstairs. I didn't even think to check the peephole. When I opened the door, the delivery guy standing there wasn't anyone I recognized from before. He was maybe in his late 30s, wearing a red Marcello's polo shirt that looked a size too small, and a ratty denim jacket over it. His face was pale, like almost gray-looking, and his eyes seemed sunken in. Not sick exactly, but tired in a way that made me uncomfortable. He didn't smile, didn't say hi, just held the pizza box out toward me with one hand, while the other stayed tucked into his jacket pocket. "Large pepperoni and sausage," he mumbled. "Yep, that's me," I said, reaching for the box. "Here you go." I handed him the 20 and 2 singles, but he didn't take the money right away. He just looked at me. "You home alone?" The question caught me off guard. It was the way he asked it, not like a friendly joke or harmless small talk. It was direct, flat. I froze for a second, then said the first thing I could think of. "My dad's upstairs. He's just on a call." The man didn't say anything, just slowly took the money, then handed over the pizza box. I mumbled a quick thanks and closed the door. As I locked the deadbolt, I had this weird feeling settle over me, like the air had shifted. I peeked through the side window next to the door. He was still standing there, just staring at the house. Eventually, he turned and walked off down the driveway. I shook it off, told myself I was being dramatic. Maybe he was just tired or weird or both. I went into the kitchen, grabbed a plate, and ate 3 slices in front of the TV while watching a zombie movie I wasn't supposed to be watching. Typical teen rebellion stuff. Afterward, I took the leftover pizza, wrapped it in foil like my mom always reminded me, and put it in the fridge. The rest of the night was normal. Or, at least, it started out that way. Around 11:15, I was upstairs in my room playing a game online with my friend Zach when the doorbell rang again. I paused my game, pulled off my headset, and sat there for a second. That was weird. My parents weren't due back until the next afternoon, and no one ever just stopped by our house that late. I walked downstairs slowly. The house was dark, except for the faint glow of the hallway nightlight. I didn't say anything at first, just stood near the door, listening. Then the doorbell rang again. Once, then a second time. Something felt wrong. Really wrong. "Who is it?" I asked through the door. A man's voice replied, "Sorry, my car broke down. Can I use your phone?" His tone was calm, too calm, like he was reciting lines from memory. "Sorry," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I can't help you." There was a pause. Then, "Come on, it's freezing, just real quick." I didn't answer. I moved toward the window, just far enough to peek without being obvious. I couldn't see his face clearly, but I could tell he was wearing a black hoodie and jeans. He was standing perfectly still, facing the door like he was waiting for a performance to start. I backed away and crept upstairs, heart hammering in my chest. I called my mom. She answered groggily, and I immediately told her what was going on. Her voice snapped into full alert. "Did he see you?" "I don't know," I whispered. "I don't think so." She told me to lock myself in the bathroom upstairs and stay on the line while she called the cops. I did exactly that. Locked the door, turned off the light, and sat on the floor holding the phone like it was a lifeline. That's when I heard it. A faint sound. Not from downstairs. From the side of the house. A tapping noise, like fingernails on glass. We had a set of 3 small basement windows on that side, barely big enough for a person to squeeze through, but still. I told my mom what I heard. She told me not to move, not to say a word, that the police were on their way. Then everything went quiet again. I sat there, counting every breath. 10 minutes passed. 15. Then I heard a loud crash from downstairs. Glass. Breaking. I could hear them moving. Slow, deliberate footsteps. I muted the call and listened, praying they wouldn't come upstairs. I texted my mom, "He's inside, please hurry." Then I heard something that made my stomach turn. A voice. From downstairs. The same one as before. "Hey kid, I just need a phone." Except this time, it was different. Like he was mocking me. Like he knew I could hear him. "I saw you through the window. You shouldn't lie." The footsteps came closer. They were on the stairs. I scrambled behind the shower curtain and clutched the phone. Just then, I saw the glow of red and blue lights through the bathroom window. The footsteps stopped. Then, nothing. Minutes later, I heard shouting. Doors slamming. More voices. Eventually, a police officer opened the bathroom door. He told me it was okay, that I was safe. I barely registered what he said. Later, they told us the man had fled out the back door as soon as the lights showed up. He left through the side gate and disappeared into the woods behind the neighborhood. They searched but never found him. The window he broke was a small one in our laundry room. He had shattered it with a rock and unlocked the back door. What stuck with me, though, was what they found in the grass by the side of the house, near the basement windows. A red Marcello's baseball cap, folded neatly, like someone had taken it off and left it there on purpose. I never saw that delivery guy again. My parents tried to press the pizza place for answers, but the manager swore none of their drivers matched the description. No one on shift that night matched that name or look. The receipt I had, it didn't have a name on it. Just cash. Driver number 9. We never found out who he was, or how he knew I was alone, or why he came back. But ever since then, I haven't been able to eat pizza without checking the locks twice, and I never, ever answer the door after dark.